Gerhard, it seems a lifetime since we last spoke to you, but that's the international break. Has it been a good opportunity to A, work with the players on the training ground, and B, dare I say, just get a bit of rest and recuperation?
Yes, I think we use it in more directions. Relax, also important, especially with the demand of trainings and games the last 2 weeks. But we enjoyed, and on the same time we had some good trainings sessions with the boys, and it was a really good international break. I hope for everyone.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate Jason Knight's probably still en route back to Bristol, but generally is the squad fit and healthy going into the weekend?
Yeah, I think right now we jump successful through the weeks, and everyone is right now in a good way.
The last time we spoke to you, the transfer window was still open. There's still 2 more days to go. How do you reflect on the final 48 hours of the transfer window, where there were positives, Zach Weiner staying at Bristol City, but you didn't also maybe get that last player into the building that maybe you were looking to bring in?
Yeah, I think of course I think we realized a transfer window, I think, with some very good players what jumped in our roster, and right now I would say we have a good competition in, I would say, most of every position. I think this is a really good situation. On the same time, my wish, my expectation is always to make in every single position the competition or bring the competition on the highest level. And of course we was not lucky in the last 48 hours in the transfer window. I think we should do it better, but in the end we realized, I think, very good new players here. We realized right now a really good squad, and we have to do everything right now with these players to maximize the performance in a good direction.
Because I had a good chat with Tom Rawcliffe, your chief executive, on Monday, and just about the desire to bring a striker into the building. Ultimately, what stopped that from happening? Was it a combination of things, or was it one particular thing?
Yeah, this is. I think the transfer window is not always easy, and especially, and we know our frame at the moment in more direction what we can do, and this was a combination of more things. In the end, was crashed the situation with a new striker. Yeah, so I don't want to be a coach and mourn and less energy in this way. This was not a sexy moment, yeah, but we have to do right now everything with our roster, and I have a big trust and a big belief we can do it with this roster in a good direction. My wish is clear for the next transfer window. We have to do it better, yeah, and also my expectation in this direction is, of course, we have to do it better. But right now, I am happy with my team.
So in terms of do it better, are lessons learned in every transfer window? I suppose as a football club, not just as a head coach, you review transfer windows, and there's one coming up soon in January where we have a couple of months rest, but soon we'll start asking you the questions about bringing more players into the football club.
I think the next few weeks, the next few months will show us, of course, how the team grows, how is the development in the group from team-wise, but also single-player-wise. And then, of course, we have to be the early bird, yeah, and not too late in the end on the way. I think this is something what is super important, that we are quick in our decisions, which player we want and which player they come in, and not that we have to deal in the end in the last few days in this direction. The most of the time this is very expensive, and the most of the time this could be also dangerous, that you don't finalize that what you want.
Are you happy with the strike force you do have in the building? So Emil Rees signed in the summer, you've got Sinclair, Fally and Harry Cornick as well. Are you happy that the forwards you do have in the building will help the team, and it's a team game, maintain a promotion challenge?
Yes, I think we have, of course, different strikers with different strength, but also with different topics, what we have to improve. And and we have to do with these strikers right now. We have to do and bring out the best from them, and with, of course, individual training sessions also, and in the end with a good mood and with a good atmosphere. I think I trust these players. Everyone from them have interesting strength, and we have to do everything that the strength, the quality from them comes out in important games.
I appreciate the window's shut, but the window is still open in other countries, and Sinclair Armstrong's being linked with a move to Turkey this week. Is there any truth in that? Have you had any interest in Sinclair, even though the window in England is over?
Yeah, but we hear the last few weeks again and again interests in Sinclair, but also in other strikers. Also, this is not a big surprise, yeah. But on the same time, it's crystal clear that he stay here right now. So the window here is closed. This would mean we could not bring in a replacement, and in more directions, he's a striker, a young striker. Maybe we forget this sometimes. He has to learn, he has to grow, and he has potential to grow. We have to work with him very, very close, and also with him we have to bring out and maximize his potential, yeah? And in this way, he will stay, and he's a big part in our roster.
Because he's got so many abilities and skills and I said potential, but ultimately, would the difference be if he could just find a goal? I think he scored for the first team since November. How much would that do? Because he's young, isn't he? Would that improve his confidence, do you think?
Yes, of course. I think he brings so many things on the table, but the question is always how the things connect in a game, yeah? And also that he is in a balance in front of the goal, that he is not overpaced, yeah? And so we have to work with him in more directions, but he has interesting skills. On the same time, we see also something what we have to improve, and especially the topic in front of the goal, and this is the most important for a striker, yeah? How he is and works in front of the goal, and in this direction we want to maximize. We want to train with him individually also, next to the team training, and hope in the end that we have a striker in our Bristol City boat. He is ready to score much more like in the past.
We must, of course, talk about a new arrival. Neto Borges has joined from Middlesbrough. You must be pleased to bring him into the squad. And given how well the team are playing, does he face a fight to get into your starting lineup?
Yeah, I think this was the reason also that we are stronger in our roster with one more player on the left area. He can play on more positions. He's a very interesting player, especially in on-ball moments. He is with high technical power on the way, and I think he gives us a little bit a different phase in our build-up game. Also, I think with him we can have a little bit more power also when we play against the low block. Yeah? So in more directions, he gives us a little bit a different phase and a different strength. And I'm happy with him that he is right now with us.
And as we prepare for Sheffield Wednesday on Saturday, how much of you is a head coach? You're looking at the team that you're facing and the challenges that they provide, but as a football man as well, just the emotional, maybe what's going on behind the scenes at Sheffield Wednesday, does that provide a different kind of challenge for you on Saturday? Because I gather the team spirit at the football club is unwavering despite what's going on behind the scenes.
Yes, of course, we know that something goes on behind the scenes, but this is nothing what we can control, or this is nothing where we have in the end influence. We should, and I think this is super important. We should be 100% focused and concentrated in our game, in our direction, and I think we will drive to Sheffield for the next points, and we need a top attitude. We need, of course, a real good match plan, and I think these are games. They are not so easy. Yeah? So they stay against the wall like a boxer, and then it's on us, yeah, to give him the next hit, or maybe they jump out from the roofs, Yeah, I don't know exactly the name, but I think we should do everything that we are super professional and we have to be on the highest level. One more time for 3 points, but also that we grow and use this game to grow in our identity.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Gerard, you mentioned Neto being able to play in multiple positions. I know that's an asset, but is there a particular role at the moment you're seeing him to come in and challenge? Is he more of that maybe wing back where we've seen Ross and you play, or also where Rob Atkinson's played as well? Is that kind of where we see him?
Yes, I think these are the both positions where he is in the end. It's our plan to bring him. This could be the left wing back position, but he could also play in a wide defender role. So in more directions he has power and especially what I say in on-ball moments he's really good. Yeah, he has really good ideas, very creative, and the first week with him or the first 10 days with him goes in a very good direction on the field.
Is he in a position where he can come in and start games? He obviously was involved in Middlesbrough's pre-season, but hasn't played an awful lot of football in the season so far.
Yeah, I think of course the plan is that we bring him in game time. This could be in the first time maybe more from the bench, but this is in the end the plan is that he's. When everything goes in a good way, he's also in the starting position. So, of course, this is much more on himself. Yeah? But with good performances and with the profile what he has, he is very interesting to be, of course, a player with many game time.
I know Ross and you have done really well in that position, but is there a bit of hope as well that you can get them maybe in roles there more naturally, and it might help bring the best out of them as well if you've got a more natural fit on the left side?
Yeah, I think I'm very happy with my wingbacks at the moment. With you, with Sykes, with Ross, and I think they did a really good job in the last few weeks. On the same time, we know the season is long, many games, also different opponents, different challenges, and I would say we need in the end manpower, and also we need a competition. And right now with Neto, we have more players on a really good level and a high level, and the boys have to fight in the end for the starter position.
As you mentioned, having sort of different options and players that can play in different ways, is that something when you've built this squad this summer you've really tried to, I guess, implement that adaptability that you can change?
Yeah.
It's not like for like changes.
Yes, I think this is important also, that we have in the end always a little bit a different phase on the field. Of course with the typical principles from us, but also the interpretation in some stories of a game could be different, and with a different ability, we interpreted the game a little bit different, and this could make in the end also as more difficulty for the opponent.
You mentioned deadline day. Obviously, it was quiet in terms of incomings into the club, but a few players left out on loan. Jamie Knight-Labelle and Adam Murphy, is that just a case of getting them regular first team minutes?
I think this makes sense in the end. I think they need a different platform at the moment. I think the resilience in the under-21 is a little bit too less, and the game time in our situation with our goals, and also how is the level in our team, it's a little bit too high, and we search for something between, and I think I'm very happy that they have at the moment a different chance in different teams to grow. These are very interesting players, and we have of course a big eye on them.
Is it similar with Sam Bell, a case of getting in those minutes that you might have got here?
Exactly the same, and I could also see in the pre-season that he has very interesting abilities. On the same time, the last 2 years he has less game time, and right now it's super important that he jump in game time, and I think with his new club he has a big chance for them.
So obviously his contract's up at the end of the season. I guess it's a difficult one to answer, but is there still potential that if he goes out and has a really good loan that he could still come back and have an impact at Bristol City, do you feel?
Of course. I think this is with the plan, in the end, that we find for every single player the right platform to grow. And when this is a loan a deal, of course, we use it, and then we have in the end a player maybe back maybe soon back with more games, with more experience, and normally the loan deals, they're always very, very helpful that the boys develop and jump with a different attitude back to Bristol City.
You mentioned wanting to work with a big squad. It has ended up being, I guess, it's with the youth players involved as well. It is a big group. Are you happy with the size of the squad that you've got at your disposal till January?
Yeah, I think we can do always something that we make the squad or the size of the squad, we bring it on with the right numbers. I would say yes, we are on this direction on a good way, but also we need, of course, in every position the best quality what we can realize with Bristol City, and in this direction I think we can do it better in the next transfer window.
Obviously, you've got a few key players still out injured as well. I just wondered if there's any update on where Campring and Max O'Leary are at, because kind of the messaging we got when they were injured was that it could be around October time.
Yes, but with Campring, I would say we have to be patient. This can be between 9 and 12 weeks right now. So we have to be really patient with him. This is my feedback at the moment. Max O'Leary, he did good steps in the last few weeks, especially the last week. He's more involved in the normal goalkeeper training right now, and hopefully he is back very soon.
You've had Max Bird kind of come back. He obviously got the goal off the bench. We're starting to see the best of him after that injury, because I think you mentioned it might take him a bit longer to get up to speed, having missed so much of pre-season.
Yeah, but right now we realise, and I realise it long with all the games what I show from him, how important is he with his football intelligence, and in what directions he's a high value in this team. And right now I realised him on the pitch, in the training, and also in the game, it's I enjoy it. I enjoy to see him with his attitude on the field, also how hungry he is, and to show his power. A very important player for us, and I'm super happy that he is back on the typical Birdie's way.
He's another that gives you options in multiple positions, hasn't he? Because we've seen him as kind of one of the sixes, and he's scored from the 10 position.
Yes, yeah. I think this also makes us more unpredictable in this way. With Birdie, he can play in more positions, 6, 8, 10, and in this way, he gives us interesting phase.
I just wanted to ask you about Anis Mehmeti, because I think he's maybe one we've not spoken about as much, just because of how well all your attacking players have played. What have you made of his start to the season? Because I think there's been those flashes where you think that there's a real top-end championship player there. Yeah.
We know that Anis is for us. He has goal scorer abilities. He has in the final third with his football power. Yeah, he has many good ideas, and he's very mobile. And of course he is very clean on the ball. So in more directions, a player, he can be for us a big key for our goals, especially when we speak about how we want to crash the opponent in the last third.
I think last season there was a bit of talk about him finding that bit more consistency. I know this season's quite new, but is that kind of the next step, you think, for him?
Exactly. I think consistency is not only for him, it's for more players, that we bring I would say the last season, especially in home games, there was outstanding great, but the away games was always a little bit the topic. And right now for us, it's super important. We have the same attitude, the same power, the same mindset, home or away. It's nothing different. And I think this is something could bring us in the end more points on the table. Yeah? And we have to do everything in this way, that not only Anis is with more consistency on the way, the whole team has to grow in this way.
So from your point of view, you'd rather the team kind of, I guess, play your way no matter the occasion, avoid playing up to an occasion, kind of playing the same way regardless of an opponent?
I think this makes no difference. I think when we would have different ideas at home and away, this would be not sexy. I think for us it's important that we have our principles in our hand at home and away. Of course, it's always a different opponent, and maybe the atmosphere in stadiums away don't affect us. This is important. We realized it right now also in Derby or in Sheffield, what's going on in the stadiums away. But I think we should be mature enough at the moment that we can deal with that and have in the end always our match plan and our principles good connected between heart and brain, home and away.
Just finally for me, this first half of the season is quite stop-start with international breaks. You've obviously got 5 games and then another break. As a collective, as a squad or a coaching staff, do you kind of set goals for what you want to see from these 5 games?
Yes, I think this is important that we use always this blocks in more directions, of course, with goals, with performance goals, but also with result goals. And also we have the review about the last games, and the boys realized in more ways some topics where we have to improve or what we can do for the next step. And I think in more direction we want to use that, and this gives us always a little bit the chance to get in a review, but also to go in a good outlook what we want in the next 5 games. And I think this is also a chance, with the right performance, with the right improvements, that we pick up with consistency the points.
Thank you, Gerhard.
Gerhard, you've spoken about the sort of technicalities of an international break and how you operate here. How do you operate away from the pitch? Do you have some downtime? You said to me a few months ago you were looking forward to your family coming in and experience Bristol. Has that happened now?
Yeah, my wife was already here, and we meet us also the one or other time in London. I think my family, they get closer and closer to Bristol. So also my wife enjoyed the time here in Bristol, and she was very impressed about the city. But also I think in an international break, sometimes it's important also that we jump a little bit out of the world of football and do different things. I use the time in more directions, but of course also the most of the time with my family. So I was back in Salzburg and enjoyed also the one or other day in the mountain, and also I watched football. I cannot other. I watched Austria against Cyprus in the World Cup quali. It was also interesting to see. So, but in a different direction. I was a fan in the stands without big tactical topics in my brain and ideas. So I enjoyed only the game like a fan.
I can imagine it's a good way to switch off, because we've mentioned, right up until the end of like that period before the international break, it was transfer deadline day, wasn't it? Can you just give me a feeling about how that experience was for you, obviously, because there was rumours regarding certain players here, in particular Zach, who you've spoken about. As a head coach of this football club, what is that experience like?
I would say from one side it's very good to see how I can rely on many things, what we spoke and what we agree together. And also I think it's not so easy also from the owner's standpoint when you have in the end an offer on the table for a player and they pay a lot of money, and I can tell you this was a big amount for Bristol for our football club, and the owner says still no, we don't do it. The players stay here, and for us it's super important that Zach Weiner is already a player from Bristol City with our goals, and I told you that he's a face of from the club. He grow here, and I think this would be a big damage in the end when we would lose him. So I'm very, very happy we do it here on the right way. On the same time, of course, I'm the head coach, I'm the manager, and I want, of course, that we maximize not only on the field with training and games and performance our points, but also that we have in the end the best players here in Bristol City what we can have, and in this direction also we learn, and we realized that we have some gaps how we can communicate together and how we can do things better. And the last transfer window show us that we can improve. Also, how we deal in this direction together.
I presume you've since had conversations with Zach. How was he affected by what happened? Because obviously as a player, you come to transfer deadline day, you don't know whether you maybe are coming or going, if an offer will be accepted or not. What was his reaction?
I think the big advantage was that I was, from the first day when I came here, always in a good exchange with Zaki. And our relationship, I would say, is on a very good level, very helpful, I think, also for this situation. I think this helps in the end also, and of course that we stay here also clear together. So I think he's an important player, and in this direction, I would say he knows what he has from me, from the club, from the team. He realized that, and I would say Zach is super happy to be here. On the same time, I understand also that maybe after so many years here in this club, that you confronted or realize also other offers and be open to speak about that. So this is normal. This is the football business, and we have to deal with that. But I would say we did it very professional, and the relationship with Zach, this was in the end very, very helpful, that we are so close together and we had a really good exchange.
Now, obviously, I guess the attention turns to keeping him longer term. Him and a number of other first-team players are out of contract at the end of this season. That may be what encouraged the bid. But I mean, who knows? But the conversations now, do they have to get started quickly before that next transfer window opens? Obviously with Zach, but with a number of other first-team players as well.
Yes, I think this is something where we have to be always a little bit quicker like the other ones. And we have to be here very professional, but also good structured, with the right communication and with the right power. So we need every single one in the management. He create a really good job, and we are here on the same page what we want together. And of course we want, from the one side, development from academy players. We want results on the same time outside on the pitch, and we need small bits that we grow with the quality. And in this direction we want to use the next transfer window in a good way.
And just finally from me, would you be able to maybe, I take it, obviously I'm asking you to mark your own homework here to an extent, but can you grade your first few months as Bristol City head coach, but also grade the team? Is it exceeded expectations or not? How do you feel about it?
Yeah, I think in more direction I am impressed. So we have an outstanding environment here. This looks like Premier League. We have on the same time a very hungry squad, a squad with an outstanding good mentality. Then we have in the end also players with a really good quality. On the same time we realize the championship, many teams, has really good quality, and they have outstanding investments. Outstanding, what I read every day in the medias, what clubs invest is it's a different level. So I come from Germany and I know what German Bundesliga clubs invest, and right now I realize what championship clubs invest. So this is much higher, like Bundesliga clubs in Germany, and Germany is a top league. So the difference, it's special, and also new for me. So the difference is so big, and we are here, I would say, not with the biggest investment power compared to the other clubs, but I would say we have, maybe to other clubs, a strong roster, and the mentality and the energy, I would say, is on a really good level here. And this can be, next to a good quality, with good transfer management, a very interesting season. So I think, of course, we have to maximize, we have to be with our identity on a good way, we have to grow, we have to stay humble after good games, and work super hard and work smart. I think in this way we can maximize and we can surprise. So of course we know what other teams invest and what we invest. So this is a big difference. But we are very convinced, and we have, I would say, a healthy confidence, we can surprise in this league, and we want to do everything in this direction together with our fans.